Hello everyone, and welcome to another review. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Banana Republic, and we're going to go ahead and review Banana Republic Classic. Here's the bottle. It is very simplistic. It's just got this little glass bottle. It says Classic on the front of it, and it says, and you can't really see it because you're seeing me, but okay. And it says Banana Republic at the bottom of it. This is the 1.7. It's available in two main sizes, 1.7 and 3.4. The 1.7 is going to run you, I'm not even going to run into individual prices for each of them just because you can find, I've seen the 3.4 as cheap as like $10. So you can find this much cheaper. I'm not even going to mention the marked up or the actual retail price for it just because of the fact that it's so easy to find a much cheaper sale for this pretty much anywhere that around most any fragrance store that you come across. Okay, very simple. Fragrance was released in 1995. It's, for those of you who don't know what Banana Republic is, it's a popular clothing retailer primarily, and it looks like they kind of like Express, they delved into it and made actually a couple fragrances. This one happens to be one of, I believe, their first, and it's classic. One of their first, and it's classic. So let's get into the notes for this particular fragrance. The notes consist of herbal notes, bergamot, pink grapefruit, and clementine at the top. Our mid, we have honeysuckle and syringa. And for our base, we have ginger, woodsy notes, and musk. So, what do you get when you spray this fragrance, when you smell it? Right off the top, you get a little bit of touch of a citrus, but you get really a very green, fresh smelling type of a scent that really comes at you. It really reminds you of, at least on initial spray, it reminds me of a little bit of fresh rain type of a vibe to it. The floral notes really take a prominent, kind of center in the fragrance, and it doesn't come off as too feminine for floral notes, but it doesn't come off as too masculine either. What I was instantly reminded of when I smelled this fragrance is soap. This reminds me of how soap would smell in a fragrance form. This is probably the closest soapy smell. I've said other couple fragrances smell like soap to me, like Prada Amber Pour Homme kind of has a very high quality, but it does have a little bit of soapy type of a vibe. This is not like those other fragrances that I'm mentioning. Sung Homme, and there's another one that smells like Irish Spring. This literally smells like soap. There's no other way that I can actually put it. It does have a fresh rain type of a feel to it, and it does have another fragrance type of a quality, but it's very much like soap. So it's not something that I find that, even though the smell isn't one of my particular favorite, it's not something that I hate. I can't hate it. It smells like soap. There really is no other explanation for me for that scent. So with that said, what you can actually expect from this fragrance is a fragrance that smells very green, very fresh, very professional at the same time, but doesn't really stand out. It doesn't really stand out just like soap doesn't really stand out. It just smells like, it just smells clean. That's the best interpretation that I can actually give you for this. Spray-wise, I go anywhere between 3 and 6 sprays. The fragrance doesn't really have the performance that I found most other fragrances have. It doesn't mean that it's a weak fragrance, because it kind of sticks around. It sticks around a lot longer than you think it'd stick around. It lasts about, on my skin, it lasts anywhere between 6 and 9 hours. So I've got kind of iffy longevity on that at times, and at other times it's solid longevity. Despite the fact that it lasts that long, it doesn't really give off a really good sillage or really good scent trail. So that's one thing to actually watch out for on this one. Season-wise, definitely a spring or summer fragrance. Does well in those two. Just doesn't have the power or the punch to really do that well in the winter. As far as occasion, I think this is a perfect work fragrance. This is a fragrance that will do extremely well for work in that manner. It's not going to go out and grab attention. It's not going to be one of those scents at all, but it's going to be one scent that leaves a nice, makes you smell nice, makes you smell good, but doesn't leave a lasting impression because it smells like soap. You're going to smell soapy, you're going to smell clean. That's the best thing I can give for this. The other strange thing is I actually think it works well for college kids. I think there's just some vibe about it that kind of smells like, clean, that it would go really well for a college kid. So college kids, I would say, also try out this fragrance. Give it a try. Give it a look. That said, The age group, like I said, is, or not like I said at all, but the age group I would say for this fragrance is really anyone can wear it. Anyone can pull off this fragrance perfectly fine. Anyone can pull off a scent that smells like soap. Really not much to it. So as far as what people thought of this fragrance, again, I had 100 people smell this fragrance, had them take a smell and what they thought. There were 25 people who liked it, 53 people who thought it was in the middle, and 22 people who disliked it. So overall, but even with the comments that they liked it, overall it got comments like, for the people who liked it, they said that it smelled rainy, that it smelled clean, that it smelled professional, that it smelled well put together were some of them. The people who said meh thought that it smelled like soap, basically. They thought that it smelled like a clean scent, but didn't really tickle their fancy. It didn't really jump out at them, if you will. And the people who disliked it, some people said that it was a little bit too harsh on their nose, and I guess I can kind of see that, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Some people said that it was harsh. Some people said that it was too basic, too generic. Those were some of the comments from people who don't like this fragrance. Overall, it wasn't really a good or a huge compliment getter. Personally, for this fragrance, for a rating-wise, I go ahead and give this fragrance a 3 out of 10. I give it a 3 out of 10, not saying that it is a bad fragrance. It's just that there is so much more out there that you could possibly get. It's definitely cheap, so I'm not going to say that it's, going to run up your price tag, but with a scent like this, it's, to me, you might as well just, find a good smelling soap or a good smelling body wash to go ahead and use rather than use something like this. Yes, this will last a bit longer, but it doesn't really bring much to the imagination. There's just nothing really going for it as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it smells clean. Yes, it smells fresh. Just not one of my favorite scents. And the performance issues kind of bring it down a little bit to me. So for me, it gets a 3 out of 10. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free, send me a message, leave me a note down below, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.